Hello and welcome to my channel Happy Hours. In the last video I discussed about the different art schools of India. Today I am going to discuss about the literature of Vedic period, in which I am going to discuss about the Vedas, Brahmanas, Aryanak and Upanishad. Literature of post-Vedic period and about some books written by Indian writers and foreign writers. So what are we waiting for? Let's jump to our very first topic for today, which is the literature. Very first is the Veda. Vedas as Shruti means what is heard. They have been orally transmitted from God to human. The Vedas are the large body of religious texts originating in ancient India, composed in Vedic Sanskrit. The texts constitute the oldest layer of Sanskrit literature and the oldest scriptures of Hinduism. There are four Vedas: Rig Veda, Sam Veda, Yajur Veda, and Athar Veda. Rig Veda is important only for historical information of Aryans. Originally, there were 1017 hymns. Later, 11 hymns were added. They are named as Valkylya. The Hotra was the priest who preached Rigvedic hymns. Rigveda is divided in 10 mandalas. The first and the 10th one is the latest, whereas the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh are the oldest one. Seventh and eighth and ninth were the second oldest. The second mandala was composed by Gupt Samad, third by Vishwamitra. In there, Gayatri Mantra is also written, which is devoted to Surya. Fourth is by the Vandev, fifth by Atriya, sixth by Bhardwaj, seventh by Vasishta, where the Battle of 10 Kings is also mentioned. Eighth and ninth is written by Kanva and Agnidas. First and 10th were written by many rishis, where they have mentioned about the Varna system. Agnidas was the guru of Krishna, and Kanva was Shudra who got status of rishi. Now, Samved. It is considered as the origin of music. Priest here is known as Udgata. Consists of 1549 stanzas, taking almost entirely from Rig Veda. And basically, it is basically the melody collection. Yajur Veda. It is a book of rituals. Here the priest is known as Advaryu. It consists of prose mantras. It is a compilation of ritual offerings formulas that were said by the priest, while an individual performed ritual actions such as those before the yajna. The last one is Atharva. Here the priest is known as Brahma. Tantra mantra, Jadu Tona and medicines also are described here. Sometimes it is called as the Veda of magical formulas. Now we are going to discuss about the Brahmans, book of rituals, process to be followed during the rituals. It contains scientific knowledge like astronomy, geometry and architecture. Some Brahmanas also contains mystical and philosophical material. These are commentaries, explanation of proper methods and meaning of Vedic rituals in the four Vedas. Aranyak, written as the forest books, containing philosophical elements of life. It is experiences of life to guide those passing through Brahmacharya and Grihastha ashram. It is the bridge between the Brahmanas and Upanishad. Details of life of forest dwellers. They are medley of instructions and ideas. Upanishad. It is a book of spiritual philosophy. It is the discussion between the teacher and the student. It is end of the Vedic literature, therefore called Vedant. Accepted by many modern philosophers and thinkers. There are 108 Upanishad. Raja and chariot discussion about the soul, and about the Nachiketa story also is mentioned. Brihadanyak Upanishad. It is the most scientific Upanishad. It talks about the doctrine of Atma and transmigration of soul. Chandogya Upanishad. First time there is a discussion about Krishna as the son of Devaki and disciple of Agniras. Doctrine of karma is described in this. There is no mysticism in Upanishad. Sankaracharya Advaitavad also based on Upanishad. He was also a Vedanta philosopher. In modern time, Raja Ram Mohan Rai, Dayanand Saraswati and Vivekananda. They were also Vedanta philosophy scholars. Next we come to the Smriti literature. Vedanga and Upveda. Vedang, that it means limbs of Vedas. These are treatises of Vedic literature. They are six in number: Siksha, Kalpa, Vyakarna, Nirukta, Chandas, and Jyotisha. Upaveda. The term Upaveda refers to traditional sciences, technical literature. There are four in number. One is Dhanurved, second is Gandharved, third is Ayurved, and fourth and last one is Arthashastra. Now proceed to the post-Vedic period where we were having the Pali literature as the prominent literature. There were three important Pali literatures: Sutta Pitaka, Vinay Pitaka, and Abhidhamma Pitaka, also known as Tripitaka. Rest all Buddhist literature are in Sanskrit. Sutta Pitaka, very voluminous book, composed by Ananda. It is a collection of philosophical learning of Gautam Buddha. Sutta Pitaka is divided into volumes, and each volume of Sutta Pitaka is known as Nikaya. Digha Nikaya. Two important teachings of Gautam Buddha. First is Dharma Chakra Parivartana. Sarnath, first Updesh to 5 Brahmanas. Second one is Mahaparinirvan Sukta, means the death. It is the last sermon to Anand. He said, "Nothing is permanent. All composite things decay. You have to strive out diligently to achieve nirvana." Khudak Nikaya. Buddha was glorified through mystic form. The childhood, they are charismatic. Explanation of Jataka story. Anguttara Nikaya. There they have described about the 16 Mahajanpada. Next we come to the Mauryan text. Very famous is the Arthashastra. Its manuscript was discovered by R. Shama Sastri in 1905. It was discovered in Oriental Library, Mysore. Arthashastra did not have the dating system or description about the Mauryan dynasty, or any name of the ruler is also not mentioned there. There is no name of the author as well. It describes only polity and governance, organs of state, responsibility and function of various departments. It describes the imperial administration. Since Mauryan state was first state based on the model of empire, therefore Arthashastra was associated with the Mauryans. The material culture of Mauryans was not so developed to support the administrative structure presented in the Arthashastra. Therefore, it is understood that it contained the administration of post-Mauryan empire also. Chanakya is also known as Indian Machiavelli. Next is Mudra Rakshas, which was written by Vishakadatta in 5th century AD. It describes the origin of Mauryan empire or Mauryan revolution. Is explained in this book. He called the Mauryan rulers as Rishal, which means the person of low origin. Next is Hars Charita by the Banbhat in 7th century. He was court poet of Harsvardhan. The information that the last Mauryan ruler Vrihadaratha Darat was killed by Pushyamitra Sungra, a Brahman general, is also mentioned in this book. Next is Rajatarangini of Kalhan. It is the first book of history. It was written in 12th century AD. It describes the history of Kashmir. He told Ashoka built the city of Srinagar. In medieval India, Jan ul Abidin, who was also known as Akbar of Kashmir, appointed Shrivar and John Raj to write history of Kashmir after Rajatarangini. Next is Puran. All the Puranas are written in Gupta period. There are 18 Puranas in total. It describes genealogy of Mauryans, which means Vanshavali. There was total Mauryan ruler was for Mauryan rule for 147 years, in which 90 years attributed to three great Mauryan rulers, that is Chandragupta Maurya, Bindusar and Ashoka. Jataka, social and economic conditions of Mauryans, described in this book. Parishishtar Parvan by Hemachandra. He was a Jaina priest. Chandra says that Chandragupta Maurya died after starving to death, which is also known as Sanlekna or Santhara. Now we are proceeding with the foreign sources of Mauryan. The very first book was Indica by Megasthenes. It was written in 300 BC, written in Greek language, and gives details about the description of Mauryan administration. The original book is lost. It was recreated by Greek fragments from different books. The authentic source of administrative of Mauryan is Indica. Sandrakotas is the Greek name of Chandragupta Maurya. Next, Strabo, who wrote the book Geographia. It is also in Greek language. This is the only source which talks about the marriage of Helena, daughter of Seleucus Nicator, to Chandragupta Maurya. Justin wrote a book, An Epitome, in Greek language. He wrote about the conquest of Northwest by Chandragupta Maurya by replacing the Greek governor appointed by Alexander. He described the establishment of Mauryan Empire. Arrian's Indica, which was written in 2nd century AD. It described about the ports at the time of Mauryans. In Greek, it was also in Greek language, and it also described about the army of the Mauryans. Pliny wrote natural history in Latin language. This was the only book in Latin language. He says the gold and silver drainage to India. He criticized the trade between India and Rome. Now we are proceeding to the Chinese account about Mauryans. The very first is Buddhist literature. Ceylonese Chronicle, which means in Sri Lanka, the Buddhist. Literature compiled in three: Deepavansha, Mahavansha and Kulavansha. Mahavansha is a commentary written on it and known as Vamsatha Pakasini. It is the commentary on Mahavansh. It is mentioned here that Ashoka killed his 99 brothers before getting the throne. Tibetan Chronicle, Divyavadan and Ashokavadan. In Ashokavadan, it is mentioned that Ashoka's mother was Brahmin, whose name was Shubhandragini. She was from Champa. It is the capital of Anga Mahajanpada. Now this is all in Bihar. This description of Taranath, he was a Lama, mentioned Buddhist literature. Now we are proceeding to the Gupta literary work. Gupta period was known as the golden period of Sanskrit literature. Most iconic personality was a Kalidas. He was also known as Shakespeare of India. There are 7 literatures. Some are poetry and some are dramas. First one is Avigyan Sakuntala. Describe the marriage of Sakuntala, daughter of sage Vishwamitra and Menaka, with Dushyanta. Second one is Malvika Agnimitra. It is a love story between the Agnimitra and Malvika, where Agnimitra was a Sunga king. Third one is Vikramovashiyam, which is the marriage of warrior Vikramaditya with Urvashi. Fourth is Kumar Sambhava. It is the birth of Kumaraswamy, means Kartikeya, to Lord Shiva and Parvati. Fifth one is Meghaduta. A yaksh living in Vindhya mountains sends a message of passionate love to his wife in the Himalaya through a passing cloud. Sixth one is Ritu Samahara. Describes about the different seasons in India. And the last one is Raghuvamsha, story of Ram, which is incomplete poem. Now there was a book by Vishnu Sharma, which was known as Panchatantra. It was later translated into Arabic by Ibn al-Muqaffa with the name Kalila-e Dimma. Amar Simha wrote Amar Kosha, which is the encyclopedia of Sanskrit literature. Varararuchi, he was a Sanskrit grammar expert. He wrote a book, Prakrit Prakash. Dhanvantari was a physician who wrote Dictionary of Ayurveda. Sushruta was a surgeon and wrote the book Susrut Samhita. Aryabhatta was a mathematician and he wrote 2 books. First, the Aryabhattiya, which was about the maths, with the decimal number is also described. And the second book was Surya Siddhant. It was about the Siddhant, sun is the centric movement of astronomy planet, or of the all planets. This is the book on astronomy. By this, I am concluding my video. Thank you.